Welcome to the Meredith Show. I have a treat for everybody watching. Not only is Eileen Gould inspirational, she is a construction legend here in Los Angeles. We'll let her share a little bit about how she made that happen. And she also has a heart for the aged and seniors in your community and all over the world with really good information that I think everybody needs to know, whether they have a parent that might be facing it, whether they want to think about how they want to age, perhaps in place. Welcome, Eileen Gould. Hello.
Hello, Meredith. I'm so glad to be here and grateful that you asked me to be here. And I will go to my journey because, life is a journey. And I
Yes,
will begin with my story. So
yes.
I go,
Your story is very inspirational, actually. And so I'm going to start with the very beginning. You and I have a passion for California, and we have similar stories in some ways because you ran down a dream and came here without a job lined up. Tell us a little bit about what happened after you came to California in the very beginning.
well, I think I have to preface it by saying I grew up in Philadelphia. I went to Penn State as an English major. My mother got cancer. She had to have her leg removed and decided that an English major, just I wasn't going to make any money. So, unbeknownst to myself, she enrolled me in Medical College of Pennsylvania. Noting I hate blood. I'm not really wild about sick people. And there I was 2 years after my AA degree going through a hospital training where not only did I have to draw blood, have people draw blood for me, but I had to go through all of the different stages, blood banking, urine, stool, and even go to the morgue where I fainted. So I was
Wait a
not.
minute, you're not giving the glamour, but you actually kind of got a cool gig when you got here. Yes?
Yes. So what happened was I came here with three girlfriends and I had a job waiting for me in Philadelphia in blood banking. We were staying in Beverly Hills and I opened up the newspaper and it said medical technologists needed for three internists in Century City. We had one car between the three of us. I was 20. I took the bus from Beverly Hills to Century City, went into this job interview, and this very nice older doctor hired me on the spot for $25 an hour. Now, in that time, that was a lot of money for not just me, for anyone. So I went back to the hotel and I said to my three girlfriends, I am staying in LA. And they said, no, 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 you can't leave your father. You have to, your father won't know what to do. And I said, you know what? I am going to tell him that I'm just going to do this for 6 months and see what happens. So after I went through that whole gig, I took the job and my first patient, unbeknownst to myself, remember I grew up in Philadelphia, was Jack Nicholson. I had to give a sperm count for Jack Nicholson. So I handed him a cup, I handed him a magazine, and I said, there's the bathroom, and there you go. The doctor wanted us to look like angels. So we all had to wear short skirts and lab coats. And so it was very, very bizarre. And what I found that most of his clients were movie people. So if Mr. Jones came into the office, Mr. Jones had a 1 o'clock, but Diana Ross had just walked in, Diana Ross would be taken in. It was a whole different culture, a whole
Wow.
different ball game for me.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, celebrities like weren't obviously part of your regular forte. Were you starstruck, or did you even know who everybody was? Tell the truth.
to tell the truth, I was starstruck. And what was even better, for Christmas, I got Fendi purses, Louis Vuitton this. I mean, it was amazing. I got, oh, thank you. And here's, a Gucci this. And I was like, oh my God, this is fabulous. So after I opened up the urine thing and found, stool samples and urine samples, I said, I got to get the frick out of here because I can't do this anymore. So I went back to my apartment where my girlfriend was, and she said, you've always been good with design. I had a canopy bed growing up. I had pink and green all over. I made people take off their shoes because I had shag carpeting, and I had my little vacuum cleaner that I made to pick up the lint. So I decided while I was working to go back to school to UCLA for interior design. Then I finished up at night for at the Interior Designers Guild. In the meantime, I got married. My husband, I was going to be 22. My husband was a bachelor, a 37-year-old bachelor living in the marina, PhD in pharmacy, and very bright and traveled the world. And I thought, wow, this is fabulous. But who knew what the other end would bring? When you're 21 and he's 37 or so, it's great. And I grew up with my kids. I had my kids very young, and he was working nights, and I loved the whole situation. But now on the other end, I have a big problem because my husband, it now has Alzheimer's. And it is I want to tell you, it's a long goodbye. And I hate to say that, but that's what it is. Your mind just swims like a rat on a wheel, and you say the same things over and over and over again. And every morning I have to leave him notes, and my schedule is not my life anymore. It's his life and my life. So I take him 3 days a week to a senior concerns. And then 2 days a week, I have a driver. And it's been a horrific experience, but it's been the greatest learning experience of my life. And, all these challenges make you stronger. And that's not just a cliche. That's really, really the truth.
What do you think? What do you think the hardest part is about? Because there's so many people who are facing this. It's in their family. They may be facing it. What do you say to them?
Oh my God, I think the hardest part is you've lost your partner. I think that it used to be, I'm in a very stressful business, being in design and construction. So there is always something that goes wrong, and there's always something that the client has to complain about. So I used to be able to go to him and purge and vent, and now I can't say it at all, because if I say something, he becomes so angry and so protective of me that it doesn't make sense to upset him. So thank God for therapists as well.
I was going to say, yeah, what do you do, and what do you advise people who are in this similar situation that works for you to help a little bit? Because I was just confiding in you the other day when I had a death. I actually had several in 1 year. I went to therapy, and I thought, even though I was feeling a little better from the grief after several months, I said, let me keep it going. To your point, it's just a beautiful thing to go somewhere and set it free. So how do you support and take care of yourself? Because you have a big company, and we're going to talk about that in a moment.
Meredith, great question. So what I learned early on was that I could not, even with my children, I could not take care of anyone else until I took care of myself. So this is my routine. I get up at 4:30.
Wow.
Do my yoga. And then I listen to 2 tapes of Abraham Hicks that I happen to really adore her stuff. And then I meditate. I meditate from anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, depending on what my schedule is. And then I journal. And that is so helpful to start your day with. I don't look at my emails. I don't look at my texts. I go right into this routine. And that has made a tremendous difference, along with having good friends. You can cry on their shoulder, and having, your kids that are helpful, and getting joy from people in your life and things that you do. I think that is all something very helpful. And the other thing is that I finally took a vacation with a girlfriend who I grew up with in Philadelphia with, who lives in Florida. And that was magical, because I can never leave my husband without figuring out who's going to watch him, who's going to take care of the dog, how much food I'm going to have, just like having a child.
Of course.
So this way I had it all organized, and I was grateful to be able to go to Nashville and have some fun.
Well, I have to say to you, one of the things I love most about you is, despite what may be going on, you have the most wonderful sense of humor. So I'd like to add in, plus you have a fantastic capability of laughing, even in the worst moments, right? Like you have this like real gift to step back and say something hilarious, or see the funny in it, because it really could drag us down if we sit in the heavy all the time.
No question. And that I don't watch any heavy movies. I don't go to heavy movies. I watch things that are light and bright. I read things that are light and bright. And I do a lot of walking in nature. And I think that nature is our biggest asset that we actually have. It's
Well,
amazing.
you are a gift. Nature is certainly a gift. And I have to share with people who may not have heard your story before that you have an impressive beginning in construction. Then I'd like to talk after you share how you became one of the first, I won't tell, in the you know where doing you know what.
Okay.
So tell people how you were the first. And I loved it when you share this because it's a real visual for me, a hard hat on you, let's just say.
And I have an orange hard hat and it's great. And I have a tool belt and I have a hammer. I have the whole thing. So after I went to design school, I said, oh, this is cool and I can do this. And I was doing it at neurosurgeon's house and he went from 2,500 to 6,000 square feet.
Wow.
I helped him hire the contractor. He and the contractor went boating and he was yelling at me for all the responsibility. I figured, screw that. That's not okay. I'm smart. I'm going to become a contractor. Well, it was very, very unusual in that day and age. And remember, I'm 5'1", 88 pounds. I don't have my butt sticking out and I don't have a cigarette hanging out of my mouth. And I always do what I say I'm going to do. So I am not living in that whole contractor's game world. So I learned how to do masonry and electrical. And I went to contracting school. And when I went to take my contracting exam, I walked in and she said, oh, great, you're here for the secretarial, position. I said, nope, not really. I'm here to take my contractor's test. So I took it, I passed it. I got so much PR because of, my looks and my personality and whatever. And
you're not the average. You're a beautiful woman and a firecracker at that, with a wonderful energy and sense of humor. And I bet you they don't know what to do with you.
They don't know what to do with me. So now I have 19 subcontractors who are working for a woman who's half the size of them. And I never have to raise my voice. I'll look and I'll say, Daniel, look at that brick. Does that look straight to you? And he looks, he goes, well, maybe not. I'm like, knock it out. It's got to be straight. And so, I think that contractors try to get away with as much as they can. But because I also have the design eye, I can see what's wrong right away. And I don't know whether it's a gift or not a gift. I can walk into a room and know exactly what it's going to look like finished. So that is very helpful for my clients. And we have a design build firm. So we take you from inception to completion, pulling permits, doing plans, shopping for the client, purchasing everything, doing all the work, and then putting candy in your candy dish at the end of the day.
I love it. So here I put in the chat that people can reach you through Eileen Gould Design and Construction.com. But yes, we don't want to bury the lead. You were literally one of the first women contractors here in Los Angeles.
It was amazing. I never thought I was going to get this kind of PR. The LA Times wrote a segment on me in the Sunday Journal portion. The Business Journal wrote a segment on me, and I had all kinds of PR that I didn't have to solicit. They just came to me because, I don't look the part, and I was the first woman contractor in my area. So it's an unusual thing because it's so hard and there's so many details that go into construction and no woman wants to do it. They're like, I would never, my friends say to me, I would have to shoot the client. I would never do what you do and how much guff you take from these people.
Well,
I love it.
And what I love is you've not only built an empire with, as you said, a team of 19 working for you, but in addition to that, you love to work with luxury clients. And on the other hand, you help people save huge money by doing what's called aging in place. Explain what aging in place really means.
Yes. So, none of us like to age. All of us, especially women, want to lie about their age and don't want to tell how old they are and hate to talk about aging. But you know what? It's a reality for each and every one of us. And whether you're 20 and you had a ski accident and you're not going to be able to walk again, or whether you're 70 and you have neuralgia and need assistance in your home, it is much healthier, better mentally, physically, and spiritually to stay in your place. And the reason for that is if you can't stay in your home, then you have to go to an assisted living or to a home, and that's $12,000 a month. And then you're waiting for relatives to come visit. And, after a period of time, relatives, friends get busy, they don't come visit. If somebody has COVID in the facility, everybody gets it. They shut down the facility for months and months. I have gone to see clients in the facility with samples that I had to be like 5 feet away from so that I wouldn't have to worry about COVID. So no matter how beautiful the facility is, people want to age at home, which is such a great investment. And it's not only good for your body, because you could bring in all kinds of things to exercise. It's good for your mind because you're in a safe place that that you've lived in for a long time. And it's economically sane because you can do a zero shower where you can put a wheelchair and roll in. We just finished a job where we took part of someone's office, took 12 feet of the office and added it to their powder room. Now and opened up all their doorways, because in order to turn around for a wheelchair, you need to have anywhere from 48 to 60 inches. The shower has no door on it. He can slide into the shower easily with grab bars everywhere. He has a comfort height toilet. When he walks up to the toilet seat, opens naturally.
Wow.
And we have ramps all over the house, which are just amazing for him.
I'm going to stop you really quick because in case somebody at home didn't catch it, you can spend, I know from experience, 12, 15,000 a month putting somebody in assisted living. If
No
you
question.
just renovate your house, and it's not for everybody, but for many people, this makes so much more sense. Talk about the kind of savings they can have.
So depending on what you're doing, obviously, if you're doing ramps and some grab bars, it's not a big deal. But if you're remodeling everything and you're doing a sink where the patient can wheel up to in a wheelchair, it could be anywhere from 40 to 100,000, depending on what you do. If you do all new flooring, all new lighting, because as you age, your eyes change and you see yellow. So you want to make sure you have the LED lighting. You want to make sure you don't have any shag carpeting, because that's a trip factor. You want to make sure that you don't have any different levels, because that's also a trip factor. So we want to make sure that people, not only, I say the 3 S's: sustainable, sensational, and secure. And
I
that's
love
what
that.
you want. And it isn't your grandparents' house. People today are savvy. They want beautiful. They want colors. I did a purple kitchen for a woman 80 years old. Now, not real purple, but sort of that grayish purple, because that's what she wanted. Hey, it's whatever you want at that point. You've lived your life. You've lived longer than you're going to live. So get it done and have fun and put crazy wallpaper in your powder room. So I really assist people in doing things that's just going to bring them joy and just going to make them want to invite friends over, continue to be social, because that's the most important thing to keep your brain moving.
Yes, and so finally, before we wrap up today, and thank you for all that inspiration, because I think it's honestly something people don't recognize they can do unless somebody like you comes in and has the vision and looks at their home and tells them what's possible. And secondly, I must say that vision has gotten you some great opportunities to work in the luxury space. Tell us a little bit about what you do on that side of the sphere, because it's so
So
much fun.
so much fun. So, I'm not going to drop names. I've had, movie people, and those are the kind of people who will spend, 500,000 and above. So the luxury market is not as easy as you think. These people, want to see everything. Some clients, they see four things and that's all they want to see. The luxury market wants to see everything because their sister, their cousin, their agent, their whoever needs to check everything out. So the luxury market is very complicated because they're savvy. They know what's on the market, they know what their friends have, and they know how to do research. So they're very savvy. And you would think that money wouldn't be an object, but in the luxury market, money is more of an object.
I'm going to
Because
stop you right there. I'm going to let you continue for a moment, but I want to say something about that. I have a lot of clients through the years who work in finance, and they say the millionaires and the multimillionaires know their banking balances by the penny
money,
because they are focused. And as an entrepreneur myself, I really get that. And I actually respect it. Could mean they're a pain in the tush sometimes,
absolutely.
but, but you're the perfect person for it because you have a great energy, a great sense of humor, and you've done a lot of work in that market. Why do you like it?
So I like it because they challenge me. I like it. Like right now, I'm doing a CPA. So we have redone his bid about 7 times
Wow.
because, oh my God, that farmhouse sink, you're charging me this. But I went online and I can find it for half the price. But what they don't know is if I'm not managing that and there's something that goes wrong or there's a part missing, I'm not in control. So then they have to go and they have to go back online, see if they can get the part. And people don't want to do that. People, for the small percentage I charge to manage that, people think that they can get it cheaper, but is cheaper really worth it when you have to be aggravated? So I'm saying that I don't really think that that's the case. And then I find that people really don't want you to make money. I mean, it's crazy. They want to make money. They want to charge their clients whatever they want, but they don't want you to make money, which is unbelievable. And I say that to them. So like, what's the gig here? Like,
Exactly.
you
Because
don't
at
want
the
me
end
to
of the
make
day, yeah, you don't get Eileen Gould for free. That's not nice.
what's the gig here? And then I say to them, so now that we got the bid together and now that you've signed off, are you going to drive me crazy the rest of the job? Just tell me. I want to know, because if you are, I'll set my medication up, for what needs to be accomplished here, because I'm telling you, if you're going to drive me crazy, then
There's a price to pay.
there's a price to pay, and I don't have the greatest stomach. So let's be honest here.
Oh my gosh. No, you have such a good sense of humor. And I know they're very lucky to have you. And what
Thank
I
you.
love about your story, Eileen, is so many people come, to any season in their life, whether they're 21 or 61, with a dream and they freeze. They don't come to California and take the job not knowing what's in store, whether it be a sperm count with Jack Nicholson. If you're just tuning in, you got to rewind and watch this earlier bit. And if you're watching on television, you can replay it again and again. So I think you're going to enjoy the inspiration. Eileen, what I love about you, though, is your sense of humor, your heart, your willingness to go in, all in. We share a love of California. Let's talk about that for a
Oh
minute.
my God. Oh my God. So this is what I say. When you die and you're good, you go to either California or Hawaii. When you die and you're bad, you go to Philadelphia.
And that's where we're from. So Eileen and I get to say that. It's so cold. God, listen,
so
Eileen, it was
cold.
82 here yesterday, and my sister is freezing to death in Philadelphia. So I
It's so
totally get
cold.
it.
And there's a lot of dead animals on the expressway there. I don't know
It's
why.
not as we have flowers on the side of the highway. It's
They
totally
have dead animals. It's insanity. And my father owned a bar under the L at 52nd and Market, and he opened at 7 in the morning till 2 in the evening, till 2 o'clock. And these guys would come at 7 in the morning and start drinking wine before
Wow.
work. It was insanity. And there's a lot of crime. A
Yeah.
lot of
It's
crime.
very different, and we wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing. I won't speak for you. Would you?
No, I wouldn't
No.
change
I would
it.
have come. I would have come sooner to California had I known what was waiting for me. My husband's here, my life. I get to host my
Absolutely.
show. Yes,
Yeah,
and have amazing, inspiring people who shine like you. And
thank
I,
you.
I think for anybody interested, you can get in touch with Eileen very easily. The information's on your screen there. I've put it in the chat. And I want you to know that Eileen will take amazing care of you, big or small, luxury, or if you need to fit your home for a senior or an injury. She is an absolute pro and expert.
Thank you.
Final inspiring words from you, Eileen, about what lights you up at the end of the day.
So I love to see people's spaces just as they want it. And it's not about me. I mean, I've had people who have asked me to do yellow walls, pink furniture. All right. I don't love it. I don't want to live there, but I'm just a conduit for their needs. As long as it's in good style and it fits and all of that. So that's the kind of thing that lights me up at the end of the day. And then I'll go to the market and someone will come over to me and say, remember me? You worked on my house or you worked on my office 10 years ago. And it looks exactly the same. And it has changed my life. It has turned my life around. And I think that's what makes me so happy because I want people to feel good in their spaces and in their soul and in their, life.
I love it. And you absolutely do practice what you preach, Eileen. And it is such a joy to see how you share your gifts with the world in so many ways. So be sure to get in touch with Eileen and be sure to share this segment if you know somebody out there who needs to hear something that uplifts, because Eileen Gould, you sure do shine in a big way.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank
And
you
we'll
so
see you.
much.
Yeah, we'll see you soon on TV here in Los Angeles on set. Thank you for joining us from your lovely office. And we
Thank
will
you.
see you soon in a home nearby. Thank you so much.
Lots of
Thanks
hugs.
for watching.
Thank you. Take care.